What's going on, y'all? I'm back once again. So, since I've made my movie review on Jordan Peele's Us, I've seen several different reactions to the movie. I've seen individuals saying they absolutely love the movie. They feel like it's an excellent film. They feel like Jordan Peele is brilliant. I've had individuals that say it's all right, it's meh, it's okay. Then I had certain individuals that said it's just not good. They didn't enjoy the film. So this is like right after the movie was over. People were just like, I just left the movie theater. It was just okay. It was all right. It was bad. I didn't really like it, or it was excellent. So, and I know it was right after they left the movie because on Twitter they were saying they just left the movie or whatever from the hashtag of the movie. But either way, it's got people talking. Let me just say this. For the individuals who say they didn't really like the movie or it was just okay, I'm going to tell y'all, I left the theater feeling like, yeah, it was good, but it wasn't as good as Get Out. But then after I left out of the film, and me and my girlfriend, we were talking. Me and my lady were talking about the movie and just bringing up the plot and we were just talking about it and what happened in the movie. The more it just marinated on our brains what the movie was actually about and how good the movie was. And so to me, I feel like you have to let it marinate in your mind. You got to think on it a bit. And after you watch the movie and you like, man, that was a deep film. Like that movie was really, really great. It was greatly written. It was great acting in it. And every individual played their key roles in the movie. And I saw individuals like on Dead End Hip Hop, right? My boy Mike Seatown. Mike was talking about how he left the movie theater. He just thought it was all right. It was okay. But then he said after it came upon him after he sat on it and he thought about it and then started discussing it and then discussed it with other people. They was like, man, this movie is brilliant. It's dope all across the board. And the message that Jordan Peele conveyed or relayed to the people of America or people in general that watch this movie is absolutely dope. Now, if y'all remember, before I saw the film, I just focused it on this black family and I said maybe this black family has reached a level of influence and this movie is about, since it was referenced that the movie is about classism, I thought it was about a black family possibly, growing from escaping their past conditions or past oppressive conditions or past marginalized conditions, and then forgetting about the individuals who come from where they come from. They've got to such a height that they've adapted the ideologies of the dominant society and just simply disregarded the individuals who were there. Like, okay, I got mine, you get yours. I'm not helping anybody, this is how it's going to be. And their past is coming back to haunt them. Essentially, I thought this movie represented people being haunted by their past and haunted by their mistreatment of their people and forgetting about where they come from. So upon seeing this movie and upon watching it, I came up with several different things this movie is about. This movie shows about what could possibly happen in America or even other countries, but specifically in America, what could happen if we keep forgetting about the marginalized and oppressed people in society. Privileged people have a luxury of only seeing life through their lens, and they won't focus on anything else. They can look at something happening and go, that's bad, and just go on about for the rest of their day. They really don't think about stuff that we have certain luxuries that we are afforded because there are people that come from less privileged lives than us that make these things that we enjoy so much. The clothing, the phones and technology that we like, and they getting paid pennies on pennies for doing this type of stuff, and we don't even think about the conditions that they're subjected to at all. We just go about living our daily lives and we really just forget about those individuals, and they're left to live a harsh life full of nothing really promising, while people in a dominant society or people of the upper echelon of the upper class, they get to enjoy, upper and middle class, they get to enjoy all these different privileges that oftentimes are sometimes produced by marginalized groups of individuals. Also, this movie spoke about individuals, like I said, individuals who come from past oppression and who by any way they can rise above it or rise to the upper class, whether it be through scheming, through trickery, or through hard work, and forget about the people where they come from. They forget about their whole identity, where they came from, and just put it behind them and try to live their own life and enjoy all these different luxuries. Yes, they escaped terrible conditions, but they're not doing anything to help the other people who are still in those conditions. So I feel like the movie highlighted that aspect of everything. Also, I feel like this movie in particular, man, it made you think about so many different things. It made you think about the gap. Well, it spoke to us bridging the gaps of privilege that exist in our country. It made you think about, it made you really think about how oftentimes people, like I mentioned before, people in the upper class benefit from the world having a lower class society, having a lower class. In the movie, Adelaide and her family and everybody else that were regular citizens, they benefited, or they were fine living in luxury without the individuals from the underclass or from the rabbit hole coming up and attacking them. They lived in comfort and convenience. When they came up, their whole world was topsy-turvy and in disarray. And I think that's a representation of how individuals who live in the upper class, they benefit from these individuals living. They benefit from us having a lower class because they do the jobs that many people would not want to do. They do jobs that are a lot of people of the upper class don't care to do it, don't care to carry out. So I think it spoke to those different things as well, and how in our society, once you're a lower class, it's not easy to get out of that. You're meant a lot of times to stay lower class if you're born into poverty, if you're born into terrible conditions. And I think a representation of that was how they had the escalator in the film, and it was only going down. There was no upward escalator at all, representing that once you're down, it's, really you're supposed to, people are supposed to stay down. Some people that are not supposed to, everybody's not supposed to get to the upper echelon. A lot of times you're born into poverty, you're designed to stay that way. That's like in India, where they have the caste, India, I believe, they have the caste system, or had the caste system, I'm not sure, but I remember reading that type of stuff when I was in school. But yeah, man, I think this movie is deep beyond what people believe, man. And I think if you didn't enjoy it, I think it's a movie you have to see several different times to find different things, to find different things to take from the film. Also, I spoke about, in my previous review, I spoke about how oftentimes we have an oppressed group of people, a marginalized group of people. For individuals to recognize there is a problem, you need an individual who is from outside of that social class to speak on behalf of you to get your message across to other people. Which is why I say it's important for celebrities or athletes of prominence who speak on certain issues to relay that message to the masses who watch them in their arena, their sporting arena. Because when a person from outside of that community speaks, they oftentimes can deliver a message in a way that they can deliver a message in a way that the oppressed people cannot. So for example, in the movie, Red was able to relay the message of there are terrible things going on in this rabbit hole. We're living life horribly. She was able to because she was the only one that could talk in the film. The other individuals in the rabbit hole could not talk. They just did jibber jabber and all grunts and noises. And that was a representation of, a lot of times people from outside of your own conditions can speak a message for you in a way to relay it where other people can actually hear it. And maybe possibly you can get something done to, bridge the gaps of privilege that exist in our country. And ultimately, I think that this movie, it made us look at and make people think that all in all, you're supposed to care about the disenfranchised group of people. You're supposed to, because they're a reflection of us. At the end of the day, we're people, us. In the movie they said Red said, when Adelaide asked Red, who are you? She said, we're Americans. At the end of the day, we're all people. And you should always see yourself in other people. When you see homeless people on the street, when you just quick to turn your nose up at them because of their conditions or how they may look and how they present themselves, you should think, hey, this could have been me. This could have been me in this situation, this a bad situation. You never know. So I think it makes us think about, we should see ourselves in individuals who are disenfranchised or oppressed, and think about where they're coming from with certain things. Because at the end of the day, it's up to us to bridge these gaps of different things and communicate with one another. So I just think how he did it, how Jordan didn't he didn't throw the message in your face. He didn't say, hey, here's what the movie is about. This is why you should care. He presented it in such a masterful way, a brilliant way, that you were just looking at the piece of art. But after you left the film, you were thinking, man, this film has so many underlying meanings in it. So many different underlying meanings in it. You know, he presented it in a plot that had us intrigued and had us thinking like, okay, his clones, they're trying to rebel and revolt. They're killing people. Adelaide Red switched out Adelaide and had us thinking she was the real Adelaide the whole time. And yeah, also I think this movie also spoke about how sometimes other people can't see the conditions of others until they're actually in it themselves. Red, because she was the real Adelaide, she was once living a privileged life. But when the privilege got taken away from her, she was able to see the strife or the trife of other people. She was able to see all of the terrible conditions that other people live because she was walking into herself. She was walking in those shoes. And so that made her want to do something about it because she was living it and she could see it and she could feel it. So it was able for her to relay that message to other people because it was something that was important to her. She was actually going through the same conditions that the other people were facing. She couldn't see it though because she wasn't in it. She was in it. We got a plan. I'm going to be the spokesperson for it. I'm going to develop a plan. We're going to enact it. And we're going to get change to happen somehow, some way. Unfortunately, it led to a revolt. And I think this movie is supposed to help possibly bridge the gaps that we have in privilege before a revolt or something terrible happens, because we often have forgotten about the disenfranchised group of people that exist in this country and in the world as well. So that's just my take on it. Y'all got to see this movie several times. I think a lot of people go into movies and they don't want to think. They really just want to watch a film. They're like, I'm not trying to do no research paper. I'm not in class. I'm not trying to think about a whole bunch of type of stuff. Just tell me what's going on. Let me digest that. But in Jordan Peele films, he's only done 2 or 3 really, but 2 that are like on this level. Get Out and now Us. You have to, with his films, you have to think about it because there's so many different meanings to it. Even Get Out, even though Get Out was clearly about racism and about the cultural appropriation of African Americans and how a lot of people in a dominant society view us as disposable, but care about the talents that we have, or they're intrigued by us for the culture that we bring and all of that, but they still view us as disposable. And it was about that. But there were so many different underlying meanings. He said that it was clearly presented to us. And, they was doing the brain switching and using black bodies as vessels and all of that. So it was clear. But the different scenes had so many different messages in it that you had to take it in and interpret different scenes to actually understand what was going on. This one, he just used a scenario that people think is far from real, kind of cloning type of thing. So people didn't really get it. They didn't really get it. They thought it was just about cloning, and some people were just like, okay, cool. It wasn't really scary. I thought it was a horror film. It's not really scary. But when you think about it, yes, this movie is creepy in so many ways, man, including the way they did the I Got 5 on it, like the orchestra version. Doom, 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 boom, boom, boom. When they was doing it with Red and Adelaide was facing off about to fight each other, that was slick. That was pure genius. That symphony orchestra type vibe, boom, boom, boom. I was like, oh yeah, this fire, man. This fire. Whoever did that, getting their bread, man. But anyway, I talk too much, man. That's all I gotta say. Check it out if you haven't going to go see Us. Tell me what you think. If you've seen it already and really don't care for it, watch it again. Watch it several times. If you love it, still watch it several times, because there are things that you probably didn't catch that you're going to catch this time around. So I'm going to check it out too, because I'm sure I missed a lot of different things. Even though I just pointed out several different things, I'm sure it's a lot of stuff that I still miss. So I'm going to check it out, y'all. Peace.